Hey y'all, I'm Jane. I hope you're really well wherever you are in this right now moment. I have not made a lot of digital things here on YouTube. I have a Patreon platform that I share more transmissions on and things like that. And my intention with this is to add the frequency and messages of what I feel to be truth here in this realm. I know that in this realm, it's inundated with data and how to's and opinions and emptiness and all of these things. And so I wanted to add my 2 cents worth of energy into this realm. And hope that in the hopes that it sprouts, right? That it flourishes and that it expands and that everything that is or anything that is in the same frequency harmonic as what I share can continue to expand. Oh God, I just realized it's like my shirt. So as I sat here getting ready to hit the record button, I was like, dang, I got a lot of stuff behind me. I should probably move so that it's a more appetizing and pleasing to the eye background. And I'm like, but this is me. Like this is this is my space. This is the stuff that I've painted. I've got my easels and my sketch pad and pressed leaves on a piece of paper or cloth or whatever. Anyway, and I was like, well, this is just where I am in this now moment. So I'm sharing this, and it makes kind of perfect sense with what I want to share. So we are creating this new earth now. The collective consciousness has reached its tipping point, its apex, its rock bottom, whatever way you look at it. And we are moving into a whole new direction. That new direction is being created with every step that we're taking. Yeah, that's cool. So every time we are moving in a way that is compassionate, that's open minded, that's in love, in peace, every time we make choices from those places, every time we use logic that has the heart energy wrapped around it, then what we're creating is the new earth. The template for the new earth is a brilliant mind, which we all have, and those thoughts that our mind has that tell us where to go, what to do, and all those things are literally encased with this pulsing vibrance of the heart. That is the inverse of what we've been living thus far. We've been living in the heart, being caged with the logical mind, keeping the heart confined with stories of fear and not enoughness and judgment, holding it in, keeping it from fully being present in our daily lives. That heart would allow to be in our culture open up opened up and uncaged, say when people go to church or they're celebrating a baby or whatever, where they don't, death is a time when the heart is like, I'm going to bust out of the logic because death doesn't make sense to most of us because in our culture it's not something that's talked about. So anyway, death, birth, and church, whatever that service is to you, these moments we've scheduled into our lives or that has happened and plopped into our lives, where our heart is like, I don't care what you think right now, I'm going to feel this. I'm going to experience this. I'm going to allow this to be. And so when we go to the church experience, there's a lot of repetition. There's a lot of repetition in going to the same location, repetition in the incense, whatever's burned, the stand up, sit down, sing, the repetition of the prayer. It's not to control the mind. Rather, when the purpose is on high, it's to open the mind to free out the heart. We only do that here and there in our culture. We've only piecemealed that out. So it's been more like little bloops of the heart, little, there's a heart. Oop, there's a vulnerability. Oop, look, there's compassion, right? Now, as we're moving into this timeline of the conscious heart being awakened, we are being asked to live consciously from the heart. They're the same. There's no separation. They get to work together. One isn't to cage the other. They're to work in harmony with each other, which means that for the mind, it gets to let go of a lot of control of the heart. For many of us, that mind control that we think we've had has merely been the illusion of the life that we've created. We then will create a fear in our psyche and our subconscious that tells us it is not safe to let go of control. If we let go of control, then the heart has room to grow and expand. The mind is here to serve the heart, which means it gets to step back, assess, clear a path, pick a direction, focus. The masculine, it's that masculine energy is beautiful. Moving into the inverse of the caged heart with the logical mind means that the logical mind chooses to step aside and become more agile, allowing itself to be a structure that can be changed. Trusting in the heart that the heart will guide the change in the highest good for life itself. Because when we think about it, life just wants to be lived. Love just is. You put them together, life just wants to be lived in love. As us, with us, through us, for us. We are life. We're made to live vibrantly. That doesn't vibrance isn't allowed when we have controlled minds. And we have been indoctrinated so much that we believe that the controlled mind that I have is mine, that I have chosen to control, when in fact, the controlled mind is merely a repetitive program that we've been conditioned and indoctrinated into. The programs, the beliefs that say that I am not safe, those come from traumas. The patterns of the mind that say that I am not good enough, they come from traumas, or they come from society or your family or the church or school or wherever it is outside of us. Because life itself knows that it is more than good enough, because it is enough, because it is life. There's no difference. There is no separation. So moving with this uncaged heart, the untethered heart, the open mind is a completely new way of living. We haven't done it, not in the collective and not on a daily basis, like a habitual, ooh, this is just the way I am and I can't be any different. Some of us may be like that. Some of us may have been like that for a long time or a little bit of time. There's some people that are just now clicking into that way of being, where the mind is choosing to open up, uncage itself from the program, from the beliefs that were indoctrinated and passed down, and then it chooses to uncage the heart. That's the process of unhooking from the matrix. The matrix is deep. And because we get so wrapped into lineage and timelines and these things, that and linearity of time, which is bullshit. Itch my nose on that one. That we believe that, well, once I do this and then it's this and then I got to do that and then it's this. It's also not true. And there's also this kind of reality where we can keep looking deeper and deeper into the past and keep coming up with the reasons why this is this way, why I am this way, why I feel this way. Look at all this. Look at all of this. Look at all of this. This created all of this shit that I am. And I feel that we need to be able to look at all of that What I feel we do not need to do is continue living while focusing on that. What I like to do is focus on that and use that for my healing, so I know then how to show up, how to move, and how to create in accordance to now this open heart that's had compassion for the human that experienced this, compassion for the ancestor that I am of those that lived it before me, giving myself and whoever else has experienced a reflection of any of these things that we would call in the past so much grace, and let their hearts have a safe space to open, at least around me. This, I feel, is what we're moving into. It's having the ability to recognize what our mind has been told, what our mind is choosing to hold on to as a constant belief, where our mind is able to open up doors into the unknown, where our mind is choosing to be liberated, where our mind is choosing to release the chokehold on the heart. We get to come into a deep realization of all of that. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, in the now, being courageous and living from the heart, speaking our truth, showing up in ways that we maybe haven't shown up as, because when we leave the mindset of control, what can happen first is the feeling of, I don't have any control. I'm losing grip. I'm losing my mind. I don't know what to do. I'm feeling confused. I'm feeling frustrated. I don't know what to do because I've been spending my entire life controlling everything around me, that when I don't have that, then I literally don't know how to be. That's common. And what that then does is it creates a tether, a reason why I need to control things again. Or I'll go into the place of, fine, I let go of control, but I need you to call me as soon as you get home. And I need you to do this. And I need you to take out this way. And I need you to move this way. And I need you to talk this way. And then we become micromanagers. Micromanagers, micromanaging is just another word for control, just on bite-sized bits and pieces, as opposed to a grand, I am controlling, aggressive one. Nitpicking, nagging, these things that we have all done, whether to ourselves or to someone else. Samesies. So moving through this space of releasing control of the mind, and not saying that the mind doesn't think. The mind is such a beautiful gift. God, the mind is so brilliant. When the brilliance of the mind has the space and the permission to follow the heart, to serve the heart, to make choices that are in alignment with love, or whatever you choose your devotion to be, pleasure, peace, harmony, prosperity, whatever. And it can change every day. Like, who gives a shit? My point. But letting the mind be told, I love you. We're gonna serve love now, okay? If it's not in alignment with love, we're just not gonna serve it. We're gonna acknowledge it. Which means that when we allow the mind to be laser focused on a devotion, we'll say love in this example because it's mine. It's so laser focused on love or acceptance. I really like acceptance. Acceptance is usually, anyway. When the mind is so laser focused on that, what happens is we become gifted. We become so gifted in that area that when we see something out of alignment, out of the pattern of that devotion, love, when we see out of harmonics with love, we notice it. That's when we have a choice. We can notice it and ignore it. We can notice it and be like, oh, yay, thank you for coming in. I didn't realize I still had some fear over there that kept me from loving. I had no idea. let's work with this. Okay, like where did that come from? Right? Like who else has that? Who else had that in my family? Who gave that to me? Okay, and then we sit with that and we feel it. And grief may come through. Whatever emotions will come through with these things. But we continue to stay focused on love. So I'm going to hold myself in love while I move through, and while this energy of the emotion moves through me that had kept me out of my path of my devotion, my quantum focus area of love. That is taking the mind out of the matrix and letting it be held by the heart, and then in turn holding the heart by making the decisions, by holding it and saying, hey heart, you said you wanted to have some joy, you wanted to feel joy in this body that you're in. Then the mind says, let's go to the beach. You love the beach, I can get you there. The heart might put out this pulse of, man, I want the ocean. The mind is going to say, closest beach is 3 hours away, let's go. Right? As opposed to the old way of being, which would be the heart saying, man, I really want to be at the ocean. And the mind saying, we don't have time for that. We have to finish this work. We don't have the money for that. Remember, we don't have enough. We're in lack. It's too far. It's too hard. Nope, I don't care what you want, heart. I don't care that you want to be in the ocean. I don't care if you want the salty air. I don't care if you want to feel the sand in your toes. I don't care. That's the mind in the matrix. Because the mind in the new earth frequency is going to say, then let's do it. In the mind, if it's logically sound, right, the frequency of the heart, it will be honest and it will say, I hear you. And we can definitely go to the beach. We can't go today though, okay? But let's create a plan to go. That's how that works. And there are so many humans out there that are on their path and their healing journey, and like me, in so many ways, as soon as you find something that works, you got to share it. You just got to share it. I see people out there doing sound healing and meditation work and healings and energy work. Oh, y'all, the amount of people I see doing energy work that literally couldn't tell you the difference between an atomic and a subatomic particle and anything about the fucking quantum whatsoever. And then I laugh at that shit. Because if you don't know the basics, then I don't shit. If you don't know anything about a wavelength, amplitude, frequency, harmonic, octaves, like literal sound, how the fuck can you do sound healing? Like, give me a break. This is also nerdy Jane totally talking right now. Like, I'm aware. I'm not saying these people don't do a great job. They may. I don't necessarily trust that shit. I know, right? I know. And it's not that they have to be certified. I know I'm tangenting. Like they don't have to be certified. Like there's an amount of like study or experience or this like I don't know, this like I've just done it my whole life. But if it's somebody that's like, whoa, I just woke up. Everything is energy. I can buy it some sound bowls on the Amazon.com and I'm gonna have healing journeys. Meanwhile, I don't know how to test the actual frequency of each bowl. So I'm telling each person that this bowl is the heart chakra. How do they know that? Because Amazon? Because a box said so? You think those motherfuckers are testing that shit? Be real. Be real. Anyway, I digressed. But what I know through all the modalities of healing that I've experienced, and they've all held so much space for me to do different methods of healing for myself, whether it was dance ceremonies, dry fasting, hiking, dancing, meditating, prayer, kundalini, right? Sex, sitting in front of my altar for days, Reiki, reflexology, massage, facials, God, conversations. So many modalities of healing that have been supporting me on my path as I offer the same things ish. Go on the services on my website. You see, it's totally different than all the things I said. And what I know is it's the programming Because everything is energy. We live in a quantum reality. We live in a holographic reality. If we don't know how to break the code and make the code, then we are living either in the code or as a victim to the code or as an NPC that is aware of the code, but they don't have the creativity or the depth to go deep within to create their own program, therefore create fully their own reality that is in service to life as a whole. They might be self-serving. They might be a narcissist by labels. It takes an ability to release control and to have the freedom and choice to dive into the depths, the darkness, the pain, the suffering, the sorrow, the muck, the shit, and go deep into that well and fill it with so much love and compassion, forgiveness, grace, and all of the things that transmutes it all. And then there's the neural reprogramming of it all. There's the embodiment of it all. We must embody it. Otherwise, then we are just parrots. We're just empty vessels telling other people that we can make them better when we fully aren't embodying it. I know that to this point in my life, I am more embodied than I ever have been. I am the living embodiment of spirit and human as one. My masculine and feminine are working together as one, and there is still space for me to harmonize with the frequency of life itself. There's still more space for me to harmonize and amplify my divine resonance with the divine in its whole holiness. There's always space for me to grow and expand. So I share what's worked for me. And I hold the space for others to do that for themselves so that I can point out the program of the matrix, how deep it is, or their own personal mind control, or where their heart is being held, or where their heart is missing the focal point to guide it into actual action steps in creation itself. I just imagine a world where like I hold the vision for the world that I know is here, where we remember and live like the sovereign, individuated beings that know who we are. And until then, we live in snippets of it. We dip our toes into it. We might have a full on swim in it. But I want us all to have that experience where it's all unique for everyone and it feels good, where people aren't afraid of anger and grief because they have mastered their relationship dance with it. Because we're always going to have feelings and emotions. That's why we chose to be human. But like to get to the point where we can dance with the human experience, that is spirit and matter dancing. That's the divine DNA. That's the double helix. That's the twin flame. That's the divine union. That's the wholeness. That's the holiness. That is the one. And that's what the I am is. And I am that. And you are that. Whether you are or I am expressing it, and others may not even think we're expressing it when we are. And others may think we are expressing it when we know we're not. That's why it's good to know our own truth, to know what our true intentions are, to feel into what is my intention. Am I actually having it? Am I moving consciously or am I moving emptily? I don't know if that's a word. Emptily. Emptily. You know what I mean? Nah, without stuff. So this is the transmission, I guess, that I wanted to share. And I don't really know the point. I have an elder that visits one of the offerings that I do at a recovery place in one of the nonprofits that I work with. And he'll come in and we're just kind of starting to anchor in and he adjusts his hearing aid. And I love him so much and he will probably say this about himself, but he is real curmudgeon. And so he comes in does his adjustment. And we're just kind of like settling in. And he's like, what are we even talking about? I'm like, I don't know. We're just talking right now. What's the topic? I don't know. I don't know. Now. The topic is now. The topic is love. I don't even know. So if you were to ask right now, well, what was the topic of that? I don't even know. I don't know. But I know that I needed to share what I just shared. And I guess my intention of sharing that is to inspire others in this earth plane to have these frequencies of just awareness of what we are, who we are, how we can be, how we can grow, how we can come together and be sovereign beings, how we can be authentic, how we can be vulnerable, how we can keep a beautiful mind that does not understand the logic of the heart, because there is no logic of the heart. Logic serves the heart. Logic holds the heart steadily, steadfast, fully. Steadfast. It holds it, but it doesn't hold it and squeeze it. It opens up, it loses its controlling grip. That is life. A flower will not bloom in a cage. It'll try, and it's like, ouch. This isn't the time where we bind our feet to make little lotus feet. That's not it. That's an old timeline. We're here to create new stories, new histories, real histories of where we revolted against the controlled mind, let it be liberated so that it could gently, graciously, and brilliantly hold the divine heart, the love, the source, where the dark and the light meet, where it all is, the infinite creator itself, the cosmic intelligence itself, the goddess, the God, the great mystery, the I am, the infinite, the unknown, the unnameable. To me, it's all that. It's all the heart. It's all that. The mind will never be able to grasp that, let alone control it. And yet we've lived in enough lifetimes where it's been squelched and it's tried to be controlled. Life is taking over, though. Life is resurging, and it's making a grand entrance, a re-entrance, a rebirth. This is our time of rebirth. The rebirth is the divine as a human, the human as the divine, the oneness that the I am is, here on earth, creating life consciously, with acceptance, unconditional love, shitload of compassion, and a lot of joy and laughter and play and curiosity and ease and magic. Because why not? So let us all breathe through this rebirth. Let us all bring a conscious awareness to our mind, the thoughts that we have, a deeper understanding of where these thoughts come from, a choice to have a devotion of the heart, whatever that looks like, and to reach out for support. If you have a space where you're like, I would like to live a more full, loving, compassionate, upgraded life, reach out to those of us who have done it and who've been doing it. I'm one of many. One of many. I am not everyone's flavor. But if I'm your flavor, holla. If this was a flavor that you found satisfying, resonant, that made you feel nourished, please share this. Let someone else hear this. Let someone else feel this, and then have a discussion about it with them. And then send me a comment. I watched this. I had my mom watch it. We talked for 10 seconds about it, or 10 years about it, or 10 minutes about it, or whatever. And we both realized we both wanted to do this. Neither of us liked this. We both thought that your hair was weird. I don't give a shit. But my request is that if you found this inspiring, nourishing, something better than a downer, please share it so we can get this frequency out, these concepts out. These concepts have been out. I'm just sharing it through my words, my lens, my me-ness. And if it's of service to the creation of the new earth via the digital realm, then yes. And if it falls flat and 4 people watch it, thank you so much. And I still celebrate that. I have no attachments, but I do have the intention of uplifting the frequency on the earth plane through all realms and all timelines. So I do the quantum work in different ways, but now I'm doing it on this platform. So thank you. Thanks for being on this platform and the platform of the earth plane. Thank you for playing on this earth journey with me. Thank you for reevaluating the holographic nature of what we call the universe and thinking, oh my God, I can create a new holographic reality. That's pretty cool. So I'm here to help the creation process. I have a lot of creative energy and I like to share it with the world. So I love you. You can check a link below in the comments or go to my website, janetheguide.com, and learn more about me and what I do and the gatherings I have and the retreats that I host for, like, if you want to be like rebooted, like, whoa, shit, reprogrammed. Like, it's a thing. I offer it. So anyway, I love you. I love you, human friends. And I'm grateful for each of you for taking the time and checking this out. And I thank you in advance for sharing it if it resonated. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you on another now. Okay, bye, peace.